Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Ken here, and I have a hot, juicy topic for you today. If you're in any type of coaching or service-oriented business and you're trying to make more money in your business, then you have to understand how to put upselling into your business. And that's what we're going to talk about in this show. So the big question is this: how is a tiny percentage of entrepreneurs blow the pack away? What are they doing that we're not? I asked myself that question for 10 years. I was failing forward and getting sick of it. I wanted to build a coaching business, but couldn't make any headway. So I started studying. I realized that the world's most elite marketers, entrepreneurs, and gurus were all using the same 4-step system. I call it the authority factor. On the show, I'm going to prove to you that the authority factor worked for them and it'll work for you. My name is Ken Dunn. Let's get started. Okay, great. Listen, one of the questions I get all the time is, how do I get people to spend more money? How do I make more money in my coaching business? How do I get more revenue coming into my coaching business? And, I think the biggest challenge that small business owners have, if they're in the coaching space or service space, is they don't realize how much money they're leaving on the table. And that's what I want to talk about in today's show. I've been running this coaching business now for well over 10 years. And, I would say 70% of our revenue comes from upselling in our programs. And I want to say right up front that this is not some scammy video that's going to show you how to suck more money out of your clients' pockets. That's not the point of this at all. But if you're going to build a serious 7-figure business, you have to have an upselling strategy in place. In fact, when I look back at my own journey, when I first got started, all I was doing was selling some low ticket offers, some online courses. And I really struggled with it. I got to the $10,000, $15,000 a month in income, but it was just this constant churn. I was constantly doing webinars and getting people to show up, and people would join my programs, but then I would be stuck doing the next webinar the next week. And then a coach that I had in my life at the time came to me and asked me why I wasn't doing any high ticket programs, why I wasn't doing any upselling in my business. And I didn't have an answer for that. So I introduced my first high ticket product, which was a coaching program, and it changed my business forever. That's why the awards are coming in now. That's why there's no stress. Well, there's stress in our business, but it definitely doesn't have anything to do with financial stress. And it's why we make all the money we do. So what I want to do with everybody right now is just talk a little bit more about how do you create the right upselling strategy, and what do you need to have in place? Now, this is a very, very important one. A lot of people, I think everybody that's in the coaching space wants to have some type of ascension model in their business where you make more money and you have high ticket offers that you can run through your business. But most people don't know how to get started with it. And there's one piece to the puzzle that I got to tell you, I don't know if I've ever heard anybody talk about this in a video. And it's probably the part that took me the longest to truly figure out. But once I did, revenue started growing like crazy. And in order to really help you guys through this and to give you a chance to the ability to visualize, I'm going to pull up my chalkboard here. And if you're listening to the podcast, I'll put like I do for anytime I'm using any visual aids, I'll put the link to the YouTube show in the podcast link, and I'll talk through it right as I'm doing it so you guys can still see everything. So let me just go ahead here and get a new page up and go to the big screen here. All right, cool. So let's dig right into this today. And I want to see if I can make this. Oh, look at that. That's pretty neat. All right, well, I don't know what's going to show up on your screen in terms of recording, but I like the looks of that. All right, so the topic of the day, let me just go here to the drawing, and we're going to talk about upselling. And I guess there's really 3 facets of it that we need to cover. Number one, what to sell, when to sell, and how to sell. And this one right here, friends, there's a piece to this that in the how to sell category, there's a piece to the puzzle that I guarantee you've not heard anybody relate this to you this way. But I want to start at the beginning. Like if you're in a coaching business, the what to sell part of the puzzle, we got to do a little bit of background work here and really help you to understand that. So if you have any type of coaching business, you've heard of the ascension model before, what that actually is. Essentially, the easiest way in the world to generate more revenue in your business is to ascend your students. And what I mean by that is to start and to get revenue really coming into a business properly. You want to start out by asking yourself some of those basic things that I've talked about in a lot of these videos. Number one, who is your ideal client? And number two, let me just write that out, client. And number two, what's the pain point? So here's mistake number one. Mistake number one is you've gone through this incredible experience in your life and you want to you fixed it, you're prospering now, and now you want to go back and you want to help other people. So you launch this coaching business. But so many people, they get this idea in their head of what they want to sell, and they never take a second to ask, okay, what's the pain point? So it's not about what you want to sell, it's what does your client need? So when you take a look at all the struggles your client's dealing with, you got to pinpoint what's the low-hanging fruit? What's the offer you can create, your initial offer? I like to call it your gateway offer. This is your entry-level offer. Like, where are you going to get people into your program? And you hear people telling you all the time, especially in this crazy world of Facebook ads, where everybody is running ads saying, here's how you generate leads. You want to decide what you're most comfortable with. I've heard people saying, well, you got to start with high ticket. I absolutely do not agree with that. I think that's the stupidest strategy in the world. It puts more stress on you, the new coach, trying to sell something that's worth more money. And you have to do a better job of explaining. It's crazy. I think that my favorite place to start is with an online course. The reason I love an online course as my gateway product, my first product, is that when you first launch your online course, you can set your pricing where it's going to create the lowest level of stress for you. So if you're brand new and you haven't had any clients yet, and you're just getting started, build an online course and sell it for $297. I don't even know what it is, and I'm telling you that. And I'll tell you why. Is that when you're doing a workshop and you're trying to sell that to somebody, you're going to have an easier time doing it. If you're thinking, okay, I'm only asking them to spend $297 instead of $997 or $1997, your stress level goes up when you're trying to sell people something at a higher price point. So to keep your stress level down, start with an online course at $297. It's the perfect price point to first get started in a coaching business because your stress level is the lowest and it allows people to spend money with you that they can afford. Most people can put that on a credit card. Now, here's the other thing. I wouldn't go any lower than $297 because I'm about to show you how to upsell people, how to create more revenue in your coaching business using an upselling model. You want that first price to be enough that it pre-qualifies people. Very important that you use a price point that pre-qualifies people. Because if it's any lower, then a lot of people who are spending their last dollars on their credit card are going to buy it. They don't have any more money to buy anything else. What I found is $297 seems to be that sweet spot for me in my business. Now, if you really want to make this is actually the business plan for a seven-figure business. The more I think about it, the more I realize that's what I should have called this training. Because it's what it is. So here's how a good coaching business will work. In your ascension model, after they buy the online course, what's the next logical thing for them to buy? A lot of coaches will say, well, I can build another online course. And my answer to that is that means you didn't put enough in this online course. One product, that's all you need. Let me explain the way this is going to work. When somebody buys your online course, when you're first getting started, the best thing in the world for you to do is, as one of your bonuses, there's another show that you can go to on the channel here that is all about bonuses and how to build bonuses out for an online course. And you're going to find in there, one of the best bonuses you can do in the beginning is a one-on-one consultation. Now, you don't have to do this forever, and I would suggest you don't, but in the beginning, it's really good for you to do this because number one, it's going to give you a chance to get to know your client. So you can ask them questions, you can joke with them, and then it's even better that it's a great chance for them to get to know you. And the most important part for our conversation today is this, where the upsell can happen. So think about this logically for a second. If you're selling an online course and you get them onto an initial call, and what you want to do is you want to break this initial call into three parts. Number one, it's the intro where you get to know each other. Number two, it's the value. You want to give them real value that helps them use your online course easier. And number three, it's the upsell. So what's the most logical thing for them to buy if they just bought the online course? Here's what I want you to understand. When people that don't understand the strategy launch coaching businesses, what they end up doing is they end up creating a whole bunch of different products. But there is one reason why people are willing to spend more money. And if you look at any uber successful coaching business that's making tens of millions of dollars, you're going to see this at play. The word of the day is proximity. Why do people spend more money in my coaching business? This is going to sound like an arrogant statement, but it's the truth. They want to be closer to me. So in your coaching business, if you do the right job on these calls here, these initial calls where you're getting to know them, you're asking them questions, you're giving value, and then you jump into the upselling. If you do the right job here and they like you, and they're really serious about the change. So number one, they got to like you. Number two, they have to be serious, or better to say, they have to be willing. Like, this has to be a real serious problem to them and they want to fix it. And number three, they have to be able. So willing means they have a serious issue and they want to fix it. Able means they got the moolah, they got the money. But this is why they buy. So the most logical thing to sell on the next step is group coaching. And if you're just getting started, the easiest group coaching program in the world to do is 3 months, once a week, 45 minutes on Zoom, one Zoom session, and they all jump into it. Now, what do you price that at? Again, take it easy on yourself. I like a 3X. So if you're selling this program for $297, then that group coaching would be $997. Now, what you're going to love about this is once you get clients into your programs and you get some testimonials and some results, you raise both of these prices right away. So your $297 could become $497, and your $997 for your group coaching could become $1497. My personal model right now is my average online course is, we just put the prices up again. On average, it's $1297, and I have a 6-month group coaching program that we sell for $16,997. But friends, I'm not going to tell you need to do that because I didn't start there. When I first started, I started my first course at $497, and my group coaching program for 3 months was $997. No, it wasn't. $1597. The $16,997 is for 6-month program, by the way. So the question you're asking yourself right now, or a lot of people have asked me, is if they just bought the online course, Why are they going to buy the group coaching program? Wouldn't they just go through the online course? Friends, 70% of people, this is statistical, that buy online courses never go through them. Why? Because they get overwhelmed and they want somebody to hold their hand. So the most logical first thing for you to sell, that's not going to take any more creation for you because you already have the information you need. All you have to do is just get the outline. And of course, there's another show on this page that talks about how you build a group coaching program. It's all here. That's why if you're watching this show, you need to subscribe to this show. And if you're watching this on Facebook, I'll give you the link to the podcast and to the YouTube show so you can see them in all those places. All right, check this out. So I want you to think about this for a second. Let me give you one more step. Now that you see this continuum here, online course to group coaching, what's the next thing you think you ought to sell? People are saying one-on-one coaching. Wrong. Because that's a big jump. What I would do if I were you, how about a retreat? Anybody here ever think about doing retreats in their business? I do 2 of them a year. Our next retreat, we're going to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and we're taking, there'll probably be 100 people there, and they're all spending $5,000 to be there. Now, they still pay for their flights and hotels, but this are given my company. And what we do with that money is, obviously, it's our profits for our company and it covers our overhead and all that stuff. But we also take a percentage of the money and we put on 3 group dinners that we pay for, and we do 2 excursions, depending on where we're going. And I pay for all that stuff. So they pay the money to come. And what's really great about that is I'm always promoting the next retreat in the group session. And I say to people, when you're first getting started, you're by yourself. So what you say in your group sessions every week is, man, I'm so excited. We just booked the hotels for the next group session. If there's anybody here that would like to come and know more about it, send me a private message and I'll jump on a phone call and let you know all about it. Do all your own sales. And here's why I want you to do that. It's easy for you to really master. If you want to have salespeople working for you someday, you got to give them advice and tips on how to sell better. If you do it yourself in the beginning, it becomes easier for you. And yes, on this channel, there are also some podcasts about how to sell better. All right. The other thing I like is if I do a retreat next and have a retreat in my business, then when I'm on the retreat, I really get a chance to know these clients. And these clients are the ones that can spend the most money because they've spent $5,000 to be there. You see what's happening? You're qualifying them at a higher level. And these people on the retreat are all going to get to know you better. They're going to be eating with you. You're going to have fun with them. And then you're going to also see in that group who is the right student for your one-on-one program. My one-on-one program is $50,000. My retreat is $5,000. My group coaching is $60,000. And that is an 8-figure business right there. I've got some other products that I've added in since then and some other, but that's the core of the business. When I'm on the retreat, in the beginning, what I did is I literally I made a point of talking to everybody, and I would ask every one of them, how's it actually going? Are you going through the online course? How's the group coaching? And some people that came on the retreat weren't even in the group, because it's $16,997, but they came on the retreat. And so I get to know them and I can find out what they do for a living and I can see who's got the money, and then I can sell them into the one-on-one coaching. Now, friends, the reason you want to set your model up this way for upselling, it's because, and you want to do it yourself in the beginning, because eventually over time, you're going to have salespeople. So now at my retreats, I bring 3 top salespeople. I use it as a contest. And the people with the most sales get to come. And then when I'm there, I still go around meeting the people and finding out who's the best person for one-on-one. And if I see somebody that fits, I go to the salespeople and say, talk to this person. They want to spend $50,000. So I don't even have to do any of the selling anymore. All right. One last thing I want to cover with you today. Do you remember earlier when I was talking about what needs to happen in order for somebody to buy any other program? Think about this for a second. I said there was 3 things, right? Number 1, they got to like you. Number 2, they got to be willing. And number 3, they have to have the money. I need to spend a second with you right now and talk about this whole idea of they have to like you, because this is the part I alluded to at the beginning that I don't need my whiteboard anymore. I'm going to just jump out of this and just go back and talk to you guys for a second. So that's how you create an entire upselling strategy in your business. But the part that nobody told me and I really struggled with when I first got started, here's like a full disclosure thing for you here. I really struggled with upselling. And I couldn't figure out why. I had everything in line, but then it dawned on me one day that it was the like you factor. I've been teaching sales for 20 years, and I've always said people will only buy from you if they know you, like you, and trust you. But I never realized how important it was in a coaching business. And I'll save this for another show, but if you really want to scale a coaching business to 8 figures or 7 figures, then you have to realize that you need to become the example to your students. If your students look at you and say, I want to be like her, or I want to be like him, you're going to have easier sales in your online course, and you're going to have more people jumping into your upselling programs. Because remember, the reason they're going to go from your online course to your group coaching or your retreat or whatever, it's to get closer to you. It's proximity. And if they don't like who you are, they're not going to want to get closer to you. They're not going to buy your online course. So you have to take personal development seriously. And this is the part that sucks. That means reading books. That means working on your ability to speak. That means your physical appearance. I'm not saying you got to be svelte. You got to be physically fit to make money in a coaching business, because we all know there's some rotund people out there that do it anyway, but it's harder for them. The better shape that you're in, the better you look to other people, the more money you're going to make. Anyway, I hope this makes sense to you. Stop trying to figure out about another product to sell. Just use this model and realize that the money comes from proximity. Hey friends, it's Ken. Thanks for being here with me today. Listen, if you enjoyed the show, make sure you follow it. You know what? Like, I'm going to promise to give you amazing content all the time. You just have to hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, put my content in your life, and I guarantee you're going to save yourself a lot of time and trouble. Hey, and on that topic, if you're following me, you're a coach, a consultant, you're somebody that wants to build an online business, helping other people accomplish something you've already done. And I want to give you the fast track. I've been studying the art of building an online coaching business for 20 years, and I've invested millions of dollars with some of the biggest coaches in the world. And you know what I found? They were all following the exact same system. It's a framework that I call the authority factor. It's a 4-step system that I want to share with you. And if you follow this system, I can't even begin to tell you what the future has in store for you. But I can promise you this one thing: you're going to get paid helping others. So go to authorityfactor.info. I put the information in the notes below. It's an amazing online live workshop that I'm doing right now. And I'm going to show you exactly how to build a coaching business the fastest way possible, with the most revenue, and avoiding the most mistakes.